The biggest mistake which you can do is if you recruit on beauty, which means you're never going to be considering qualifications, you're not going to be considering attitude. What you're just going to remain with is beauty.
So what's your thinking about a subordinate dating the boss?
That's a taboo. To me, I actually say, Bewa mumusha, it goes. Where emotions are high, don't work with that person. Even if it's your sister, if it's your brother. When you feel too many emotions, when you think of a name and the emotions are high.
Welcome to your favorite podcast, The Chattered Vendor. So today with me is Jerry. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, you returned.
I'm very well, thank
okay.
you. So before we go any further, I've noticed that about 73% are viewing our podcast, but you're not liking and sharing. Neither are you subscribing. So go and like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. So Jerry, how are you?
I'm okay.
How's been your day?
It was fine.
You're not going to ask how I am.
How are you?
I'm fine.
How are you today?
I'm fine. Hey, have you noticed that in Zimbabwe there are many beautiful ladies? In Zimbabwe, in general, everywhere we go, if you go to different shops,
Beauty
is everywhere. Is it?
Yeah.
But many, I've noticed many entrepreneurs, they are now recruiting based on beauty. What do you think?
Have you ever experienced that in interviews?
In interviews, well, yes, I'm an HR. Some people, they actually request that for a so-and-so post, I want a very beautiful lady, well built. Yes. So yes, I have experienced that.
And also take.
Well, my thinking is people differ because for food, what do we call them?
Fast food.
Fast food places, they need such people. That's my thinking, so that they attract more customers. And if you notice, they actually hire women, so that many men will continue coming and coming.
But what about do you think it's strategic? Because it's as if like those fast foods, they're actually saying they're only going to get male customers. What about other female?
Now
will you be happy to actually go with your husband, where you know that this fast food outlet actually has got more beautiful people than you,
than me,
and you're going there to buy pizza or you're going there to buy chicken in? How do you feel?
Of course, I'll feel insecure. Maybe I'll even change the food outlet to say let's go elsewhere. So why do you think many entrepreneurs, they are now treating recruitment as a beauty contest?
It isn't. It didn't start today. It started way back. I think right now it's even better. Because most of the food outlets, especially in Zimbabwe, I used to know that you only see beautiful, light-skinned ladies in those pizza in, chicken in. But right now I think it's now everyone. So the biggest mistake which you can do is if you recruit on beauty, which means you're never going to be considering qualifications, you're not going to be considering attitude. What you're just going to remain with is beauty. And that's the biggest problem. Actually, what you're saying, I can relate, because one of our customers actually came to us and say, I want an assistant, but I want someone who's beautiful. Then when we got someone who was beautiful, according to his standards, he was now saying, but he doesn't have the qualifications which he needs. Then I say, it's going to be very tricky. You want a beautiful someone, you want someone who's got a good attitude, and you also want someone who's qualified. It's impossible. He said they're going to get your beauty, but you have to what? To give up on all these other two. Or you have to take people who actually have got good attitude. Because what I've noticed is I think it has been a norm whereby people, they think that if I hire beautiful ladies, they're the ones who are going to sell. I disagree, because I've noticed that salespeople, sometimes salespeople are not even beautiful, they'll fail to hit targets. Whilst probably those who are not even beautiful. That's why even right now, if you look at it, one of my virtual mentors, Mr. Grant Cardone, almost 90-something% of his sales staff, they're actually male.
Okay.
Mm.
So
There are very few women in his team.
so maybe his reason is to avoid such in his company.
And sometimes now when you see, when emotions are now involved in a sales process, what is going to happen to your company?
It might fail.
Whereby you see you're running a company, but when you see AML, GLs, Fortuners, they're outside, busy hunting for your what? For your employees. Do you think that company can survive? How many disturbances will these guys will be getting during the day?
But what if those people will actually be increasing your sales?
But it's temporary.
But they will be already your clients. What
Yes,
do you
but it's going to be for short term.
Okay, so would you rather hire someone who is attractive or someone who is effective?
What someone is effective
You are based on results.
based on results, because we don't eat beauty. Yeah, and also what I've noticed also, the real factor, Rutend, it's not about putting beautiful people and the receptionist, accounting, etc. But the real elephant in the room is what I've noticed. Things which don't need to be there. We have to address these kind of things. I worked for a company whereby I would know that if there's a beautiful lady, or every woman was not on that company, if they're going to spend 6 months, it means they had a relationship with the boss.
Oh. Okay, it's because they are staying because of their
They're
faith.
staying because of love relationships.
So what's your thinking about a subordinate dating the boss?
That's a taboo. How do you eat? Like right now, to me, I actually say, "Mbewa ye mumusha igonzo."
Bonds. You're right.
Yeah, when you see a mouse in your house, it's a rat. Don't eat. Are you getting it? Because when emotions are involved in business will suffer.
Even the respect, I doubt even that lady will respect you because she'll be saying, that's my babe, so I can so do what I want.
Exactly. And obviously, when you now see probably it's an office and we are dating, what is going to happen? Do you know what is going to happen? If you see another lady walking into my office, if they spend 5 minutes, they'll be now like, who is that one? What do they want to do? You see, so it becomes chaotic. There's going to be animosity, camps. You're going to create chaos in your organization. But what I've noticed, most of the entrepreneurs, especially in Zimbabwe, and I've addressed that in my book, which is coming, Why Business Die Young in Africa, where I'm actually also saying, the reason why businesses are dying is because of this office romance. So why do you want beautiful people in your beautiful? I'm not saying being beautiful, it's a problem. But the person you have to first consider other attributes than considering beauty as a main factor. It's not a crime to be beautiful. We're getting it. It doesn't mean that we are saying you shouldn't hire beautiful people. But when you're hiring beautiful people with the wrong agenda, for example, you want them to be what? To be your girlfriends in future. That is never going to work. And also, it's not even happening also. Sugar mummies are also hiring what? Handsome guys to be their PAs. It's happening also. But end of the day, it always ends in tears.
So what policies do you think entrepreneurs can implement in their companies to avoid relationships at work?
I still remember that was year 2022. 21, thereabouts. I used to have a PA. She was heavily built. And she would wear small skirts. And she would start sweeping in my office.
With a mini skirt.
So do you know what I told her? I told her that my daughter, please next time you should wear long dresses.
And you actually addressed my daughter.
I said my daughter. Although probably we are not very far when it comes to age.
Okay.
And she's big. So, but I said my daughter, from that day, she never did that again.
That was actually good because you actually made know your position.
Exactly.
That was good. That's fine. So, Jerry, what do you think about ladies that come maybe not necessarily looking for men? Of course, they'll be beautiful. Then maybe clients, they come liking them. How do
Clients
you
or the business owners?
now? Let's focus on clients for
Clients
now.
first, yeah.
Then they end up dating the clients. How do you think somehow it will affect your company?
Yeah. Now, see this. What is going to? I'll give you a scenario. If this lady, she's beautiful, a client is interested. You never know. Some of the houses were actually built because it was a client, now they're husband and wife, but they are former clients. And this one was actually probably a sales person, a receptionist. It happens. But now what I'm saying is, if she is beautiful, we need also, this person is supposed, if I had considered these attributes, attitude, qualifications, then beauty at number 3. It means even if they're going to date, chances are they will date one person.
Okay.
We had a scenario at M&J whereby we once recruited these slay queens. During Valentine, they would buy, a door which is almost their size.
Right.
And they'll bring it at the receptionist, causing chaos on Valentine. So, and this one is bringing a big dough. This one is bringing flowers. This one is bringing. So during the day of Valentine, one girl would receive 7 gifts
Hey, from different
from
people.
different people. So what about if there's going to be a fight now at our place? What is going to happen?
Now
So there's a danger when you hire beauty without brains.
without brains. Yeah, you are right.
After
Jerry.
the break, I'll tell you about what they did. The two of them. One was at the receptionist. One was also working in my office. I'll tell you what happened.
All right, guys, let's wait to hear what Jerry is going to say. Join us after the break. Welcome back to the Chartered Vendor podcast. Jerry was talking about Valentine's chaos that happened. What happened, Jerry?
Okay, so we didn't realize that these girls were actually friends, and they were hired. I was part of the interview. I still remember, but I didn't finalize on the interview. But these 2 ladies were hired. One was at the receptionist, and one was actually in HR.
Okay.
So what happened now is this young lady actually had an iPhone 13 when I still didn't have an iPhone. And that iPhone 13 was still a latest phone by that time, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, so during Valentine's now, I was actually in Zambia. I heard that there was chaos here. Gifts coming, competition was, and this other day, just after about 1 month after Valentine's, the girls started fighting at the reception.
Why were
And
they
when they were fighting now, one of my guys actually managed to separate the girls, and later actually just said, let me ask these kids, what
Why
is
they
the
are
problem?
fighting?
Do you know what? They actually came into my office and asked to see me, and they said, do you know what, this young lady, I won't mention names, she's actually she's jealous of me because during the weekend on Saturday when we were at the bar, I had a boyfriend who had more money
than his.
than his. And right now, as you can see, I've got 2 iPhones. And this one, do you know this iPhone? She actually bought for herself. It wasn't even from the boyfriend. Imagine, they were telling me. I
No
just
secrets were
laughed.
coming out.
I couldn't even answer anything. Then I just said, young ladies, get out. And our internal HR had to fire them.
Okay. So they were fired. Why? Because of receiving gifts or because of the chaos.
Chaos. A lot of we later realized that now the young lady who was at the reception should get $10 or $20 from each and every client.
Yo, on what basis?
No, what she should say is when it's a male client, say just give me lunch. $20. So she mistakenly said, I smile to clients when in training. I smile to clients to the extent that they give me every day. I go home with around $40. Then I said, from who? Then she said, from clients.
A tip.
A tip for what? For directing
smiling.
them.
Okay, so how would you build professionalism in a company to avoid such people maybe receiving the $10?
Yeah, that's why now from those kind of scenarios, that's why now we're now very strict when it comes to hiring. Because every organization has got a culture. And the culture is the impulse of the organization. That's the blood in a human body. So if the lifeblood of the organization dies, it means that organization will die.
Okay,
so now what we've done is we've put strict. We check your Facebook. We check what you're posting on your Facebook. If we notice that something is amiss, we'd rather not hire that person.
But some people are very secretive, Jerry. They don't post stuff for you to notice that this one is a slay queen. Some people are very secretive with their lives that when you see them, you actually think this one is a church girl.
Yeah, but we can ask several questions. If someone is coming to your interview with long nails, long nails everywhere, do you think those people are going to produce results?
What if
Not to say those with long nails, they can bash me. But to me personally, if you come with long nails, I won't hire you.
You're against
for
them.
any job. Because I just know that nothing will come out. If someone has got long nails, both hands, this size, do you think something will come out?
No. Okay, so how can you train young entrepreneurs to take power in themselves, to be able to gather power without distractions?
Yeah, like what I've said, we work with a lot of young entrepreneurs who are doing very well. But, actually young entrepreneurs, because, when you're young, sometimes you're not married. And they're working with 6 beautiful ladies. Probably have made, you're now driving your C200. You think you've made it. And they also want to be in your Mercedes Benz. What will happen? Obviously, with lack of discipline, with lack of coaching, and some people, they actually date even their employees without even knowing that it's wrong. There are people who actually think that they have to ask out every lady. If they see a woman, if they just see a skirt, to them, they're supposed to ask that person out. Whether they are married, whether they are not married, it's a norm, it's a culture, it's a problem. But if you are told the disadvantages of doing that, if you love someone and if you see that Artenda is beautiful, I think I love her, it's better for you to send him to another company.
To avoid temptations.
Not to avoid temptations. You can even date, but while she's at another company, not at your company.
Not on the same place.
Yes, because at the same place, a lot of things are at stake. The company itself is going to die. A lot of things are going to be affected by your relationship. Emotions are going to be high. Imagine if you see probably you've got a manager between you and your girlfriend. There's a manager who is there. You see the manager pushing your girlfriend. What is going to happen?
You overthink insecurity.
No. Probably they're actually pushing in terms of saying your girlfriend is incompetent. What are you going to do? You instead probably fire a competent manager protecting this the girlfriend. So this is what I'm actually saying. When you're a young entrepreneur, make sure that I think there's a story which I usually say. I think it's if I'm not mistaken, it's Brian Tracy who actually said this. Bill Gates, father of Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett, they were seated in a coffee shop, drinking their tea. They're all three of them. They're all billionaires.
Okay.
So whilst they're seated, a young man came and asked, "What one thing can I actually do as an entrepreneur to be successful?" They all answered at the same time: focus, focus, focus. So it means if you focus, discipline can beat any talent.
You're right.
If you're focused, you know the end result. You know that you're going to get a lot of distraction. You get women who can actually they'll throw themselves in front of you. You get a lot of temptations. If you focus on that, on the main goal, you actually be successful. I know of many entrepreneurs who ended up in accidents, dying because of girlfriends. I know many entrepreneurs who ended up killing themselves because they wanted to impress a young lady at work. I know many entrepreneurs who ended up in jail because a lady actually said she was raped. So if you don't focus, most of the things will actually be destroyed. So the power of focus, I think, is very important as to young entrepreneurs.
You're right. So now, what solutions? Many people, I'm sure they didn't know that it's wrong dating at a company. So what solutions would you give to those who are already doing it, maybe to stop so that they can focus in order to excel?
Yeah, those who are already doing it, if you eat right, definitely the results will come. So if you are there at your office, it's just like even working with your wife. It needs to have a lot of discipline too, because emotions are already high. Because remember, your wife and husband at home, and you're now at work. It's complicated. That's why you notice that most of the people, they say, "I don't want to work with my wife. She'd rather work somewhere." You need to have a disciplined wife. You need to be a disciplined husband for you to start working together. Because sometimes you notice you're a boss at your company, probably surrounded by many young ladies. Your wife can actually feel insecure, start probably bashing those young ladies, but they never did anything because she feels that she's threatened. Sometimes she starts throwing tantrums because she's actually thinking that she's going to lose her husband. So what I'm simply saying, where emotions are high, don't work with that person.
Okay.
Even if it's your sister, if it's your brother, when you feel too many emotions, when you think of a name and emotions are high, I'm actually also even telling you, because tomorrow probably you're owning a company, you feel high, your brother, just know that emotions are high.
But what if my brother is suffering, Jerry? Should I leave the brother
No,
suffering?
I'm not saying you leave them suffering. I'm saying you need now to first coach that person before you hire them. See their character. I'm not saying, I also work with my relatives here.
Okay.
Some of the people I work with, some of them, people don't even know that they are my relatives. But I have them.
Okay.
But it's because I'm checking on their character. I'm checking. There is a relative who wants to be known that Jerry is my guy.
Yes.
They will tell everyone that, no, you're failing to go to Jerry's office. Or they'll actually just say, do you know that during the weekend I was at Jerry's place? Are you
Just
getting
for
it now?
people to
So that they just have to know those relatives are dangerous. But if you can have relatives, when you're at work, people don't even recognize that you're relatives. Your wife and husband, you can actually go for the same meeting, addressing each other, saying, "Madam," and no one actually knows what's happening. That's discipline which you're talking about. Professionalism, that's the word which is actually very important. It keeps.
Thank you, Jerry, so much. We have learned a lot from you. My viewers, I'm sure you have learned from Jerry. Be disciplined in order to succeed. Don't hire with emotions. I'm sure by that we will all succeed. Till we meet next time. Bye.